High frequencies, everybody. I want to talk to you about the dream location that I went to last night. I've never been there before. This was a new location. And it was a tech world. And I went there twice. I went there twice last night. You know how you'll go to sleep, wake up. I had to wake up. I had to use the restroom, went back to sleep, went back to the same world. So I'm just like, okay, this is real. Um, Lately I've been having things come in pairs. And when they come in pairs, I pay attention to things that are coming in pairs because I feel like this is like, hey, flash warning, type of thing. Like, hey, watch, look at me, pay attention to me. Just like the dream I had the other morning on the sun bursting into flames. I went to sleep, had one dream, but within the dream, I woke up within a dream. I was in a dream within a dream. I was 2 levels deep, and the sun was burning and then on flames again. And I was asking the guides, the people that were around me, which I'm referring to them as my spirit guides. That's what I feel they were. And they told me to look to the sky. They told me to look to the pyramids in the sky. So definitely been on inward journey, asking to receive more information on what that actually is. But last night, let's tap into that. So we were traveling. It was me and my family. We were traveling out of town, which we were going out of the country. And so we had packed a variety of clothes because we didn't know what the weather was going to be. So we had packed some clothes just in case it got cold. And where we were, we was like, okay, we're leaving here and we're going to Canada. And it ended up turning into like a family/school field trip. It was kind of weird because it felt like I was in school too. Well, anyway, in the first part of the dream, we were at this location and almost kind of like a museum, but it was outside. And there were this tall diamond crystalline type of structure. And it was changing shapes like a Rubik's Cube. But it was clear quartz, like crystalline, like diamond quartz. And it was like changing shapes in and out. And then we was walking, was like, okay, we gotta go. We gotta get on. We had to get on this transporter, and this transporter was shooting us up in the air so we could make it to the flight faster. And that was a whole different technology thing as well. So we were walking. As we were walking, I was like, oh my God, I saw about 8 or 9 like infinity cars, but they weren't like the infinity cars we see here. These look like low riding sports cars. They were very fast and they've nothing I've ever seen before, but I did remember they were made by infinity. Okay, symbolism there. And they came out and they zoomed. They were coming out zooming. As they were coming out, getting ready to zoom around to that crystalline structure, we were taken up on the transporter. So the transporter lifted us up, not really high, but like not like an airplane, but we were lifted up pretty high in the sky where we couldn't, if we tried to jump out, we would be hurt. And I got out my cell phone because I was like, oh, I want to record this. I hit record on my cell phone. And it was recording the crystalline structure. I was like, oh my God, I want people to see this. It's so beautiful. And as I released, that's what happened. I dropped my cell phone because we was in the air and the wind was so strong. And I saw my cell phone like drop all the way down. And I was like, there's no way I'm going to get it. It's over. And then all of a sudden, the cell phone swooped around in the air and came back in my hand, which was weird. It was like, oh, okay, this is some type of technology. That's when it clicked like, oh, wherever we are, like you can't drop or lose or break your phone or things like that because it would know to come back. It was almost like a boomerang. Like even though it dropped, it knew to come back to my hand And before it came back to my hand, it was still recording in the air for me, like the crystalline structure. And then it floated right back to my hand. And I was watching, I was like, whoa, and I was still getting it. And then the timer went off on my recording. And I put it up and I was like, wow. So then I wake up, like I said, I wake up from that dream. And then I wake up, go to the restroom, and then I go back to sleep. When I go back to sleep, again, I'm back with my family. And we were going to change clothes. It was really cold where we were. And everybody had on short sleeves and everything. And we was like, oh, we got to change clothes. We got to change clothes. We got to get in this flight. Excuse me. And so I had on yellow and black. I remember yellow, black. I had on some slides, and I changed and put on some Timbs. And I remember having on like either khaki pants or brown pants, but I do remember putting on this jacket that was like brown or beige and scarves and everything. And so in this dream, we were in some type of transporter situation, and it was like the covering of this dome. It was dark inside this location, but we were in some type of transporter. Well, inside of here, it was family, but it was like a blended family of some sort. And there was some issues that was going on between somebody's father, and it was just like some commotion between one of the daughters being upset with the father. I don't know what that was about, but anyway, there was a book. And what felt like my mother, she had this book, and you have the cover of the book that's kind of slick to a hardback. And we were standing outside, and she was showing us the new technology. She was like, now you see how it was something that was going on with gravity. And she was like, you see how strong like the force is trying to lift the book up. And we all had one too, and the force was really strong. Like we had to hold the book. If we just held the book in our hand, it was gonna just float on up. So we was holding the book, and the book was white too. I do remember the book being white. And I held my book out, and it almost slipped, and I had to hold it back down. And then she was like, but you can, now she programmed something. She said, now I can release the book, and the book released up into, it was like all the way up into the sky, like all the way up into the galaxy. And when it did that, a parachute was released from it. And when it lifted up, I had like this third eye view where I was up in the galaxy, and I was able to go around, and I saw the book. Well, when the book created a parachute and dropped back down, there was also a 3D projection of a person that was in a particular location. We were on Earth, but we were being projected like really big, where people around in other countries or on the other planets could see where you were, your exact location, where you were at that time. You were being projected so huge that anybody around you could see. And from a third eye view, I started traveling around what seemed like other countries, but now I'm looking at it, I was in a galaxy, so they were possibly other planets. So I seen people on one location, like with their family, like eating all these different types of foods. Almost felt like India or something, but they looked a whole lot, their facial structure looked different. Then I was able to travel to another. I was just able to just scan the location and see people like doing different things, but they also could see the projection from where I was located. A person projected themselves to 3D form, like a 3D computerized, digitized form of them where they could see them. And then the book just dropped down. It was like a parachute on the book, and it dropped right back down into her hand. I was like, oh, okay. But if you didn't know how, she was showing us how to use this technology. So if something didn't have some type of gravitational pull on it, it could be released down to the sky. But we could connect it where it'll come right back to us if it's released. I don't know. It was really weird. So that was two dreams of like some really dope technology. I know we are in the age of tech, and I know that there is no real time and space. So I do feel like that was another one of my existences, and another parallel universe reality that could be 50, 60 years from now that was being experienced, and I was shown the technology of what was being used. Um, and this reality, of course, is what's to come, but it's already here. So we are using it. So cell phones that you can never drop and break. They come right back to your hand like a boomerang. They can float in the sky and record, so we don't have to hold them. They just can like levitate right in front of us without us having to hold on to it. So I thought that was really cool, especially the projection of digitizing different things that we want to send up, almost like a satellite. We could send it, it could just lift up, and we can project ourselves to other planets or countries where we could talk to people. So yeah, that was pretty cool. So that was my dream that I want to share with you on last night. Again, I am the Black Fit Witch. So if you have anything that you want to share, or you want to connect with me, I'm on Instagram, the Black Fit Witch, and feel free to use your interpretation if you are a dream interpreter with this dream. High frequencies.